In this video, I will talk about the three-point lighting. Three-point lighting is very popular because it's used in photography, for portrait photography, for beauty, for profile pictures, etc. It's a standard setup for studio. It's also used in film for interviews and all kinds of stuff where a person talks to a camera. For the three-point light setup, you need three lights. You need a main light combined with a fill light that takes away the shadows a little bit, or actually it brightens up the shadows a little bit, and one light for the background. You can also use a grid to get a nice radial gradient in the background, which looks really professional and really nice. And this is basically the three-point setup. It is called three-point setup because you have actually three lights. A benefit of this light is, or of this setup, is that you have full control over every aspect, over the shadows, over the light reflections and all that stuff. So let's talk about these three lights that we use. First, the key light. The light of choice in my case is an octagonal softbox because it's really big and is round. And I personally like the reflection in the eye. I'm trying to get a cropped reflection, so I get a part of the light in both eyes as a reflection, but not the whole softbox, but just a part of it. I think this is where it looks the best. If you don't have a round softbox, you can also use a rectangular one, but I think the reflection is more distracting and it looks not as natural as with the octagonal softbox. If you have a beauty dish, you can also use a beauty dish. The thing with the beauty dish is they are usually a lot smaller than softboxes, so you need to get closer to the model and you get more light fall off, so it's more dramatic, you get darker shadows, and this can cause issues with this setup. So the main light source, in my opinion, should be a octagonal softbox. Then the fill light, I like to use a normal reflector with the fill light, and it's set up so it's just barely visible and it just creates a nice shine in the hairs, a little bit of separation from the background, and it also lights up the shadows a little bit. If it's too strong, then it becomes a kicker light or an effect light, and I think this is way too much, and it takes away a lot of this effect, or it creates a different effect, and this is definitely too much. So the balance between main light and fill light is very important. Also, if you're using a softbox and you move it a little bit more to the front, you get a more flattering light. So this is, if you need a more flattering light, then just use a softbox and move it to the front. So it becomes less of an effect light, but more of just a fill light. Also here, if the power is too low, it doesn't do anything, or if I switch it off, so it has this dark shadows if I turn it on. And if it's too strong, then the image becomes really, really flat and it's losing a lot of its niceness. So the balance between these two is really crucial here. Also, the third light, the backlight, is really important. Let's go to this setup. So this is better. If this is too low, it doesn't have any effect at all. If it's too strong, it takes away the attention from the model and it's distracting. So also here, you need to find the right balance. So it's just barely visible and the best case, in my opinion, is if you get this radial gradient, and the position for this should be, yeah, right at the nose or the mouth. So if I put this up a little bit, then it's more like yeah, like the holy image. If it's too low, then it's not separating the head from the background. So the position is really crucial here. I found that it's really helpful if you have a strong modeling light for this backlight, because then you can, while shooting, find the right position for this backlight by positioning the camera correctly. The 3-point lighting is also very nice for product photography. It's basically the same setup, but here I have a telephone, so this works also really nice for product photography. It's basically the same, and also if you're moving away from the model, you can even do like half body shots. This is also possible with this setup. In this case, you need to be careful. So this light should be hidden behind the model. If it's not hidden, then you will see the light itself, and this is rather bad. So in 3-point light setup, you need a little bit of space between the model and the background, especially if you're using grids, because grids tend to create a pattern on the background. And if you have a little bit of separation here, the background is blurred by the depth of field, so you won't notice the pattern. You also need a little bit of space for the camera, but because if you move the camera closer to the model, let's do this for a moment and use a wider lens or a zoom lens. Just use a different zoom lens. Then you would need a bigger background to actually fill the frames. So make sure you have a little bit of space for this setup, so the background fills the whole frame and you get a lens that's long enough. In this case, it's roughly 130 millimeters on a full frame camera, and I've got roughly 2 meters between the model and the background. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you want to be notified if we publish new videos, hit the bell. And if you have any questions about this setup, then I will share it in the community, so you can ask questions there or just below this video. Have a nice day. This was Stefan for Set.a.light.